Hey there! Waldmann Tuscany, PVD, Choco. I was contacted by luxury brands in the USA, distributor, and they asked me if I wanted to review some of their Waldmann pens because that's a brand they are now carrying, and I said sure. So they lent me a few pens, and I will be honest, of the three they lent me, this is probably my favorite, the Waldmann Tuscany. Solid pen, has some solid sterling silver parts, which is something that Waldmann is kind of known for. Waldmann has been around since 1918, so it's over 100 years in business, which is very cool, I think. And there's some stuff to say about this pen. So I'm going to show you the parts of the pen. I will do a writing sample, and I'll tell you what I like about it, what I don't like about it so much. A very kind thank you, of course, to luxury brands for lending me the pen. Let's get started. Okay, the Waldmann Tuscany comes in this very nice box, cardboard outer box, and then you have this somewhat rubbery feeling box with a really, oh that's me isn't it, with a very shiny mechanism there. Little pen sleeve, pen bed, and below that is a medallion stating that the pen is 925 sterling silver. There is Schwarz cartridges and a little warranty card. Usually these pens also come with a polishing cloth. This one does not seem to have that. I don't know if that's because of the PVD coating. In any case, it's the way it is. So here we have our pen, the Tuscany PVD Choco, the nice chocolate finish. And here we have the pen. So you see the length is about the same as a Safari, but it's a bit slimmer. Waldmann pens typically are a bit slimmer, although they did make some slightly wider ones. I'm just having a sip of tea. But I'm back now. So, pen, parts of the pen. On top, a very shiny finial. A clip, which is spring-loaded and has the Waldmann logo on it. You have these nice ribs. Ribs on the cap, which I think are quite nice. They make the pen look distinguished. Now we have Waldmann, and then made in Germany on the other side, and here you have that very pretty, I don't know how well the camera picks it up, but it is indeed almost like a very dark chocolate finish on the barrel, which I like a lot. And then we have this end cap there, which is, this to be honest, it's almost, I would say, a rose gold, which I think is a very nice touch. And then we have this section, kind of a similar story. Comfortable, thinner pen, not super small. I've also reviewed this one recently, the Concord model, which is definitely a bit smaller in my mind, but this is quite a nicely sized pen, and it does post, and then you definitely have a nice pen. Now this cap is supposed to be silver, so it does add quite a bit of weight to it. The nib is very nice, an 18K broad nib, and this is my favorite of the nibs that I was sent in these three pens. Cartridge converter, I put in a long Waterman cartridge, which had some of the water evaporated, so it is Waterman purple, but it probably writes a little differently. Finally, a nice plastic feed, and that's pretty much all there's to it. So let's see how this pen writes. If you don't mind, I'm not going to write down PVD and Choco. This, by the way, is now a beautiful shade of purple, which is a bit darker than what it usually is. I will shut up and I'll let you listen to this nib, because as you can tell, this nib is kind of sharing a story with us. The nib sings. Yeah, some people hate that. I personally don't care. I think it's, I don't know, I think it's kind of fun, but I can see how there would be people who would be driven nuts by this. Bit of fast writing. Of the nibs I used a steel, so I have to focus a little bit on the super fast writing. There we go. No real skips that I can tell. I have used in this set a steel fine, a 18K medium and 80K broad. This is my favorite nib. Now I like broad nibs, but I find this one in general the wettest, which is really quite nice, and I really enjoy that. Some broad nibs are a bit stubby. I think this one is no exception. So this is no pressure. There seems to be a little bit of stubbiness going on there, but I think it's really quite nice. Now, as to line variation, as always, very careful. You can definitely squeeze out some. You just have to be very careful, and I think I just destroyed the ink flow completely. This is not strange, because this pen is not advertised as being a flex nib, so you get your comeuppance if you try to flex this nib. You're not supposed to. There we go, lesson learned. Maybe a bit of reverse writing. Oh, that was a nice one. Can we do that again? No, that was particularly good. Lovely, lovely sound. I like that resonance. Okay, reverse writing is what we was doing. It doesn't really want to do that. It's possible, but it's very dry, and I really have to kind of push down it to make that happen. So I wouldn't buy it for that. Let's see what I like about it and what I don't like about it. Okay, what do I like, what do I not like about the Waldmann Tuscany PVD chocolate? Well, there's a couple of things I really like. Cap, silver, of course, coated in something, so it doesn't look like silver, but it does have a bit of weight to it. What I like most about this pen is the color scheme. For me, this really works. That chocolate brown PVD coating, that is really nice and really quite something. Most important to me though is how does the pen write, and I cannot say anything but this is a beautiful writer. This 18 karat gold nib writes beautifully. Bit of line variation, nice, adds a bit of character to your writing, works really well. So I really enjoy that. The fact that you can post it quite securely and nicely makes for a really nice pen in my mind. Yes, it's slimmer. It is not the slimmest of the Waldmanns. I have this Xetra Vienna here as well, will also be reviewed. I found that one to be slimmer, and for me not very comfortable to hold. This one is quite nice, slimmer, but it works. Good eye for detail. I mean, nicely done. Look at this. It's very reflective. Oh, there you go. Those lines, those grooves are beautiful. Spring-loaded clip works well. The polishing is very good on this. It's really clear that care was put into creating this pen. So I really enjoy that. And because of the material, there's also a bit of heft. No hallmarks, which I find interesting. There is I thought I found, and now I can't find it, but I thought I had found a 9-2, oh, here it is. So the area of the cap that you can have engraved with your name does have 925 on it, so that would make it sterling. There's no hallmarks beyond that. My biggest issues with the pen is, one is that's not insurmountable, but there is no converter supplied, which I think is a bit of a missed opportunity. My biggest issue is the price of the pen. You can get them with fine, medium, broad nibs. For a steel nib, it's $200. For a gold nib, it's $390, and that's US. That price, I think a converter should be included. I also find that quite expensive for what it is. Given that it is such a beautiful writer, I will give it some leeway. I found the other two Waldmann pens to be quite overpriced for what they are, and I have reviewed those too. But this one, I still find it quite expensive. But, having said that, given how fantastically it writes, I'm okay with that. It's expensive, but at least you get a fantastic writer out of it. So, in that case, I don't have much to complain about. Alright, a very kind thank you to Luxury Brands for lending me the pen. I appreciate it. It's coming back to you as soon as possible. I hope this was useful, and I'm glad to see you later. Bye bye.